Hello and welcome back to part 3 of Module 2, the web. Let me go ahead and quickly apologize if my little coughing and hacking in the last video was annoying. I do apologize. I've got a little tea. I've got to continue to make the videos, so I don't have time to wait till whatever's going on completely dissipates. So let's hope it's better as we move on. In this video, part 3 of the web, we are going to cover the role of e-commerce in daily life, e-commerce in business transactions, e-commerce in personal transactions, and explain how to find good e-commerce deals. So what are we really talking about here? We're going to talk a lot about shopping on the internet, the pros and cons, because trust me, there are pros and cons to shopping on the internet versus shopping in person at brick and mortar stores. I actually hope that you're still supporting your brick and mortar stores, but I understand the price competitiveness of online e-commerce shopping. So let's take a look. The role of e-commerce in daily life. I said I was going to describe a couple different types of e-commerce, and here are the 3 main types. So business to consumer. Now, what's interesting with business to consumer is this would be a business site, shopping websites, for example, that are focused on the consumer, okay? Then there's consumer to consumer. So it occurs when one consumer sells directly to another. Our first real, I guess you would say, exposure to consumer was online auctions. That's where eBay started. That's why I've listed them here. And then business to business consists of business services that then sell to businesses. So your ISP, if they have a website and they do their marketing through their website, etc., maybe they offer additional services through their website, they would be both business to consumer for personal internet service and then business to business for internet service. The example I give up at the top, if you look at that Mac, word of mouth marketing works. So this is a business that is selling business marketing services to other businesses. Individuals don't need to market necessarily, except when they're out looking for a job, and we have a resume to do that. We could certainly create an online portfolio. But focusing back, Amazon is unique because Amazon started out as solely a business to consumer business. And now they have sub-businesses, which means Amazon works with businesses. They're doing business to business because businesses bring their goods and services to Amazon who might sell to the consumer. And of course, Amazon also sells to businesses directly. So they are both. You might even find a little bit of consumer to consumer, but really at the point you're selling to a bunch of consumers, you're most likely a business. So I did say we'd look at sort of some of the pros and cons of e-commerce for consumers. Certainly variety is one of the biggest pros. When we get on Amazon, we're looking at hundreds of thousands of different products, different styles, different colors, different shapes, you name it. And we don't get that variety in our brick and mortar stores. Variety was created in brick and mortar by having Walmart on one side of the street and Target on the other. They might sell the same product line, but different companies producing their product line, if that makes sense. They might sell one type of razor where Target sells another. Convenience is certainly a benefit. There's a nice little chart down at the bottom here. Convenience, when do we shop? Well, they're open 24/7, 365. That's why we see a lot of brick and mortar stores, the Walmarts, the Targets, the large organizations bringing their services to e-commerce so that when the store is closed, you can still shop. And of course, budget. By searching, comparing prices online, you can find products that meet your budget. Folks, we could do this anyway before the internet. That's where the competitive came in, a lower price this week at Safeway for bell peppers. Next week, it's Albertsons. Who knows? Cons, of course, security. Today, we're talking about, credit cards, hundreds of millions of credit card information that's processed. It could be intercepted through insecure websites. and it can also be intercepted if a hacker happens to hack and gain access to a secure site that is storing your credit card information. Amazon is a great example. They are one of the few companies that I actually will allow them to store my credit card information, but I do that for my own convenience of shopping. What this also means, by the way, is my username is not my name on Amazon, and my password is huge. So I use the maximum number of characters and the uppercase, lowercase numbers and special characters that it will let me. I store all of those in a password safe. I'll talk more about that, or a password manager. We'll talk more about that in the future. So security is an issue. Of course, fraud is an issue. You know, somebody gets your credit card or debit card and they buy something at Amazon and they ship it to a house that no one is living in. So we've got that. You know, some websites are designed just for fraud. You know, so phishing sites where you click on that link and it tells you you need to change your Office 365 password. Remember, students, you don't want to do that. We're never going to ask you at the college here to do that, okay? So when you get those, most likely they're going to be false, except when you get the email that does say the college needs you to change your password, but they're not going to give you a link. You're going to know how to go out and change it and where to go to change your password. So keep all those things in mind while you're traversing the web, especially in shopping. And then, of course, indirect experience. You can't try the product on. You can't look at the actual color. You're looking at a representation, a digital representation, a picture, if you will, of the color. You can't look at, like I said, the quality and the texture. That's why companies make it so easy to return items when you're shopping on the web. Use of e-commerce in business transactions, so business to business, transferring goods and services or information between businesses. So when we talk about B2B, it tends to be, you know, big ticket things. It certainly improves customer relations. We see that Walmart, for example, has created their own customized applications that allow their vendors, businesses, to conduct business with them, either through their website, which means you're buying directly from an associate business, a business that's associated with Walmart, okay? Or Walmart's bringing the product and service in. So that's, but they're dealing with the business and then selling it to consumers. So, you know, customers find buying online easier, clients shop online after reviewing products. B2B businesses say certain customers can be targeted only by online store, you know, depending on who the customer is. So pricing in B2B can vary. You know, there's a team of people making purchasing decisions in businesses, and it just makes it easier for them to get the specific information they need to purchase for their business. So the use of e-commerce and personal transactions, we call it e-retail, if you will. So business to consumer, or e-retail, is another thing that we tend to be calling it these days. Walmart is a great example. You can shop in store, or you can buy online and have it shipped to your house, or you can buy online and then go and pick it up at the store. Of course, like I've already mentioned, these businesses are creating electronic storefronts that support their brick and mortar stores, you know, so they contain more products than you can find in the store. So literally the common products that are being purchased on a regular basis, you're going to find in the store, but that also means that Walmart has hundreds of thousands of products and services that are offered online. You know, track your selected items using cookies. So what we need to understand here is one of these sort of ways that companies know what you're looking at, know what you're purchasing, is through this little text document called a cookie. So we're not talking about the chocolate chip that you see here. We're talking about a little text file that's put on your computer. You can find these by looking at the internet options and looking at the files within your browser's internet options. And you can find the cookie file. So there's tracking cookies, which are the cookies that know that you came to this site, when you came, and what you looked at. And frankly, Google owns a tracking cookie company called DoubleClick. And so if you're shopping with, say, Walmart, and Walmart is a double-click customer, and then you go over and you shop someplace else, they know that you're shopping against them. They can dynamically do things. There's also the fact that tracking cookies were set to be supportive of your browsing originally. So just a regular cookie keeps your preferences. How do you want the website to be presented to you? Where do you go mostly, so that you get right to that page and you don't have to browse through the breadcrumbs, remember that, to get to the page that you're looking for. Finally today, there are standards, TLS, transport layer security, which encrypts data and helps protect consumers from fraud and identity theft. So that's a standard on the internet. And then another standard is the 3D secure. So it's a standard protocol for securing credit card transactions over the internet. When all companies are following that same standard, that standard can raise. It means that we don't have to have one way to do it for this credit card transaction company and another way to do it for Citibank and another way to do it for Bank of America. They can all be processed the same over the internet, and that credit card companies know that their data is secure, and you as a consumer know your credit card number and data is secure. So of course, there's also online payment, or what's called brokerage services, if you will, where we can buy electronic cash with cash and put someone in the middle. So Zelle, just the other day, frankly, I don't do a lot of online. I don't have like Google Pay or Apple Pay or PayPal or Square Cash or Venmo. But the other day, someone sent me some money via Venmo. So it was a quick way. They have a Venmo account. It was a quick way. They didn't have to write me a check. I didn't have to take their debit card and process it. It's just like if they had given me cash. So those work really well, especially if you have kids. That's what the person told me. They said they definitely use it with their kids, transferring money back and forth. So finally, in this section, we'll look at how to find e-commerce deals. Of course, the easiest way, there are sites like BizRate that will go out and find products and tell you which stores have it for which price. And of course, Google Shopping does the same thing. If I'm going out looking for a DJI Mavic Air drone, and I Google that, and I ask shop it, and I use the shop feature in Google, it'll come up and show me how much it is at Walmart currently, how much it is at Amazon, how much it is at Best Buy, how much it is at all these other stores, which makes it easier for me to get the best price literally of that moment. So it's not the best price of the week, not the best price of the day. It could literally be the best price of that hour. So I could go back a couple hours later and find out that someone else just put the same item on sale. So other comparison sites, BizRate, NexTag, and then of course PriceGrabber, some examples. And of course I gave you the example of Google Shopping. So using digital deals, gift certificates, gift cards, the Google Play credit, store credit, Apple Store credit, coupons, deal of the day websites like Groupon or Newegg. I have a friend that got a great deal for a local restaurant here. He ended up getting 2 pints and $14 worth of food. So that was 2 pints, whatever those cost, and $14 worth of food for $9. Okay, so of course that company probably did that so that they could generate new business. All right, so that is it for part 3. In part 4, we're going to talk about defining information literacy or digital literacy, how search engines work so we understand how to better use them, how to better create searches based on how search engines work. We'll look at search tools and refining web searches so that instead of getting 14 billion results, we get results that are specific to what we're searching for. I'll catch you next time in part 4. Take care.